So in our second workshop, we talked about groove, and we talked about it as the other way of understanding music rather than timing. We point out that our brains are built to understand a beat and a regular pattern within music, and we can do this for many years. It's not something that we need to pay attention to, it's something that will happen automatically.
Specifically, it's that the beat exists inside our brain in response to the music. It's not part of the music. It's just something that humans do when we hear it. So the beat and also the rhythm, the cycle of the rhythm and the downbeat, those are all things we're born pre-packaged with the ability to feel. If we happen to have any kind of movement that's not controlled, or also listening to music without analyzing it, our brains will try to put those two systems together. Just because of how they sit in our brains, we will feel this experience that we call groove, which is a desire to synchronize our movement to the music. And it is it's the path of least resistance. It is harder to move against the music than it is with it. And the trick there is just to let it happen. Listen to the music and allow yourself to move, especially in your breathing.
So in application for dancers, this means that we use what we call watchfires together, wires together. You want to get your brain firing with music and moving to get these two things to eventually come and marry up. So you get a system that means your instinctive response anytime you hear music is to start synchronizing and moving with it. This is what we've used as definition of dance, that movement in time to music is dance. So then if you distill that down, you realize, well, when I breathe, my body moves. Therefore, if I'm generating internal movement in my body with my breath, I can do that with music and still be dancing. So we played a slow mellow song and let everyone just notice how their breath changes, the duration of the breathing changes, how their breathing changes direction, whether in or out with the phrase of the music.
And specifically, we're noticing that not only does the music change the way we breathe, it changes the way we hear the music, that there is this sort of feedback loop. And then that breathing becomes the foundation that the rest of our dancing sits upon. It provides the landscape and texture for the rest of our sort of more conscious movement. And just the act of breathing to regulate the rest of our movement tends to make us more musical, tends to improve our groove. Groove is a self-reinforcing experience. The more we experience it, the more we find it easier to move to music. And then the only element we're missing then is being able to couple that with a partner. And this is where we tie back to the first workshop and this idea of coherence. Paying attention to a partner, noticing the way our body moves, and then noticing the music will cause all of those systems to naturally begin converging, so long as you don't try to force them to. We talked about some edge cases, what happens when we experience music differently, and noticing that there's often an opportunity if Amy's experiencing music one way and I'm experiencing it a different way. If we're paying attention to each other, it enriches the way both of us hear the music, and it changes the way we move in response to each other, and we create something new that wouldn't have happened if we'd been dancing along. And this applies universally. The thing we really want you to take away, though, is that you already have all of the musical skills you need. You just need to get out of your own way and allow them to flow into all the different dances that you